You think people are really gonna watch this,
They ain't got nothing else to do.
right?
Word.
I ain't going on social media talking shit about TDS Radio. I know that much.
My man, Coach Block.
What's up, cuz? How we living?
Oh yeah, aren't we muted?
You're rocking with TDS Radio.
Get it, Kim. All right. She got a vision, and she want us to execute this vision.
Ooh, man. That's what TDS is about today.
Ken and Kim are the two dopest siblings that I know.
All right, you ready?
Am I ready? Are they ready?
Nigga.
What's up? It's your man, Coach Block, one half of TDS Radio.
It's your girl, So Fab. Hey, y'all. It's been a minute, but we're back.
Yeah, it's been a grip.
Niggas been doing shit.
We can't go live on Instagram. What's going on?
Because you didn't add it.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, how's everybody doing today? Every day is a new day, fucking with your boy. And she lets me do it and then laughs at me like, what are we doing? If you knew I wasn't right, then just the fuck?
I didn't realize.
You see how you gonna come with the remedy while I'm fucking up?
I didn't realize until afterwards. I'm like, it's not even up there.
And then where is it at?
I don't know.
Oh man. Oh, Nick, bro. Just talk.
Well, we're back, guys. How is everyone? You guys doing all right? How is your month? How are things? What's going on? Any new things happening and popping out? There's been a lot going on for us. That's why we haven't been here. We've been working like slaves.
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy, but you know,
it's good things.
It's good things, but it's been crazy. Blessings. You gotta keep. It's a good thing when you say you gotta keep up with the blessings. You gotta keep up. It's a lot going on, but
because you have a huge praise report.
I ain't telling everything because you know them people be watching. Ain't everybody's business.
Okay. Well, exciting things are happening for TDS. So
yeah, well, there we go. That's the praise report. Wait.
What are you doing?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, what's going
you
on?
Know what? We missed y'all too.
You hear? I hear the vocals.
Oh, you hear the
vocals? Was that when we was cussing and talking? Yeah, that's because Kim was,
No, that was when I was telling you what to do with Instagram.
Yeah, whatever. All right, so look, what do we want to start with? Praise report?
I guess so.
Okay, sure. Where we at? Let's get in before we lose people.
Well.
So it's TDS praise report.
Hey, let's get it.
So today's praise report is brought to you by nobody because we don't have any sponsor for it yet. So if you would like to sponsor the praise report, hit us up. If you're a small business and would like to be a part of what we got going on, hey man, holla at us so we can go ahead and support and also serve you and build a relationship because why not? So the praise report is it goes as following: TDS Radio and TDS Media and TDS, I guess our podcast, all of that is actually separate entities, y'all. Like there's a whole radio station going on right now with music, and you guys can listen to that on our app if you download it in the Apple Store and Google Play. So there's a whole app there where there's music. Then you have this. And then you have the website. So if you go to our website will show you our events and all that other good stuff that's going on because we have a lot of good stuff going on. For example, Top Secret Stand-Up is coming back again, guys. So make sure you get your tickets for the Top Secret Stand-Up. You can go to Eventbrite right now and get those tickets. And if you want the family discount, holla at me and we'll make it shake.
Right.
We want another sold out show. So Victoria is going to be the host. We got Big Vino as the main attraction and Wafik as the spotlight, which is hilarious because I didn't know how to pronounce his name. But all these people have Instagrams, and tomorrow I'll give you everybody's Instagram. Today was, we're not on point. What other praise reports? Oh, keep an eye out for TDS Radio's new studio.
Yes.
That's coming.
Yes.
So it's going to be a whole nother place. So we're going to have this place with these things.
Mhm.
Then we're going to have another place. And for the 3 people that left, the hell with y'all.
Thank you, Gabe. I knew.
No,
what
that
you were
was
saying.
Kim saying, oh, okay. I didn't know.
Mhm.
Hey, Gabe, get your ticket. June 28th, man. We need you in the building, man.
I don't have my computer up. I was going to drop it in the.
Drop what?
Drop the link in the comments.
Well, June 28th. Let's go. I need y'all to go ahead and get y'all tickets and be there because it's going to be funny again. It was already funny. And if you missed the last one,
Yeah.
oh, man, I should be doing this stuff, right? So if you missed the last one, then you just need to go see the last one. And you can go see the last one by just simply oh, thank you. We thank you, cuz wait till you see the new digs. The new spot is dope. Breakfast Club ain't got shit on us. Trying to tell y'all, man. Okay. It's been a while, right? Here's what I need y'all to do. I need y'all to start supporting small businesses, especially the small business that thrive even though you don't support it. So that means you don't support a small business, but this small business is still on there. I think I can, and they're striving. Then you probably should get behind it and be like, you know what? We want to help you over the hill because it's tough. It's hard work. And a lot of this, and especially for Black people, a lot of their small businesses are actually services to the damn community.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, I'm about lotion and shea buttered out, but and candles. But I'm meeting some
Sewing Glow.
I'm meeting some pretty dope people that have businesses.
Mm-hmm.
For example, shout out to Miss Henderson who has her Golden Hot Gals, GALS. Go check her out. I just interviewed her not too long ago. She's a woman an older Black woman who got cancer and then started line dancing, and it helped her mood to help beat her cancer. And she said if she would have found something a little bit sooner like that, she thinks she would have healed sooner and faster, and it wouldn't have done the damage that she does. So now she goes around and helps other people with their healing process through line dancing and workshops about healing and all that stuff. Pretty dope older lady. Like she's really dope.
I'll have to get her on here.
Yeah. Oh, well, she hates the camera. So the reason why I met her is she says she just doesn't like being in front of the camera because what her ministry is from the Lord. But she knows she got to do better. That's what she said.
Don't get me started on that. But okay.
Yeah, that's what she said. But she said her people definitely are like upset with her because she's not on social media as much.
What did Gabe say? Let's go. What part of Durham? You'll be fine, Durham. Yes.
You do not have to bring no gun. Man, first of all, this is top secret stand-up. The only way you get in is to get your code. Once you get your code, you get in. This is a secure building. There ain't no walk-ups. You can't just roll up in this piece. So when you walk in, you're met by a door person. That door person then lets you on the elevator. You can only move up and down if you have the code. If you don't have a code, you'll get to the elevator, get on it, get to the floor, and then can't get the hell in the room because everything is blocked off. That's why it's called top secret. The radio is playing Boots on the Ground, the orthopedic version. Thank you, Tico. So yeah, make sure y'all support some small Black businesses, and make sure you guys also support what we got going on because we want to be a vessel to continue to support small businesses, not just Black businesses, all small businesses who are trying to do something positive to give back to the community. What you got?
You pretty much took it off.
No, you got some other stuff.
What?
You got men watching. Tell your idea to see if the men will show up.
I don't want to say anything just yet because people do watch and people also like to take. So till we get some things, and settled, we'll
All
do
right.
that.
Well, then we won't do that.
I have I tried to step my, toes back into dating. Tried. Huge on the tried. And it was terrible. And I'll tell you why it's terrible, because for whatever reason, people feel the need to tell me
Wait.
Oh. So I'm trying to get back into dating, y'all. I promise you, I'm trying to not be the old woman who has a dog and just sits in her house and with a cup of coffee and just says, meow. Trying.
Right.
But really, I am
dog is sick all the time.
Shut up. He has allergies. But I am finding enjoyment in my peace. And the more I come out and I place myself in said settings to, possibly date, the more I realize that maybe it's just better just to be in the house. So I try to download, Hinge again. And I'm like, okay, I'll set my profile up and let's give this a try. Straight out the gate, one guy matches with me. He doesn't have anything to say other than good morning. And that is the biggest way to just like.
Do we have the profile?
No, I unmatched with him. And he didn't really have anything on his profile. It was just what he said. So the whole good morning every morning. And I was like, we're going to stop this because that does nothing. You're not getting to know me. You're just trying to make sure that you stay above the rest of the people who are reaching out. So I asked him, my usual questions that I try to ask people to get a little bit more in depth of learning about who they are and how they think. And, the usual, like, tell me who you are when you're angry, what makes you smile and, what happened in your last relationship? What are some things that you could change? So, he goes immediately into the last relationship and says, well, the one thing that I would change is the fact that my ex had a hygiene problem. I'm like, okay. Tell me more about that. What do you mean hygiene problem? He's like, well, she wouldn't really bathe and, she had a body odor and I probably should have left, but I didn't because I felt bad for her. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, was this depression? I don't know. It could have been depression, but that was just a huge thing that I really did not care for. And then I'm bipolar. So, I hate you so much. He then goes into how he's bipolar and, he's trying to get his meds calibrated, but, he's not letting that stop him. And he's in school to get his PhD and he's determined. And, but sometimes he has these, modes where he doesn't necessarily want to be bothered. And I hope that, me being bipolar isn't something, where it changes your mind. This whole entire like spill, when I tell you, it just went on and on and on. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna unfollow, block, whatever, unmatch, and then we're just gonna delete this app because I don't have time for this bullshit.
He sounds like he sniffed couch seats. And Instagram, Victoria said a dog with allergies is wild.
He does. He's allergic to everything.
It's terrible, ain't it?
God, like. So this is my life. Yeah, that was me trying to attempt to get back into these streets, and that's what's happening. So
was he handsome?
You could tell something was going on. You know how when people have like nervous breakdowns or they've been through things, they have the darkness around their eyes, or they're kind of like sunken in.
Well, yeah, I mean that that could be a multitude of things.
Well, but he explained what the things were, so I'm like, no, I'm okay. You could tell something was going on there. So I'm like, you know what? Nothing against you. That's not something that I want to deal with right now.
Well, here's what he has. That's a plus. Honesty.
Yeah, absolutely. I told him
because I don't know if I could tell anybody that I had an ex who stunk. Because that's crazy work. Because that means there's some disease that you either are carrying.
Yes.
Something is lying dormant with you, sir.
Yes.
Because there's
Yes.
no, we don't just walk around and stink and then talk about I feel sorry for it. No, you got it too. And so then now you can't leave because you contracted the stink. We'll just call it the stink. You got that. So then now you have to make a decision, and your bipolarism comes in where you want to slap the shit out of her, but that comes with time. So then now I got to take medicine with an S because I'm bipolar, because I want to knock her head off because she gave me something.
That's what you got out of this?
That's what I know.
Okay.
Who stays with somebody because they stink? I don't care if you're bipolar or not. Who says I feel sorry for you because you stink? I stayed.
You have bad hygiene.
Stink. There's nothing. What else can you do? You get what I'm saying? And who says that they stay? I've never heard a man say, "Hey, man, yeah, I'm in this tough relationship, man. I can't get out of it. Why? Oh, man, I just feel bad for her because she stinks." What?
But why tell me? Like,
well, I guess, the best thing to do was be honest. And then now, because eventually he's going to tell you that he got the ick.
Oh, yeah.
And then it came from Stinky. So if we preface it like that, then maybe you might give me the green light when I tell you about the other medications I got to take.
No. Once again, you got a lot going on, sir. So get that under control before we start dating, because ain't no way. That's a lot to deal with. I already got a dog with allergies. Like, and you want me to deal with this too?
I get it. And I'm like Tigo. He liked the smell. He liked it. They said this, some guys don't mean a thing if it ain't got that twang. But I ain't one of those guys. I don't know what the.
And that's
see, I almost
maybe
went crazy
he
on
liked
TV's right here. I don't want to cuss like that in front of our TV. I'll be damned. I'll put it like that.
He dry snitched instead of sliding her some soap.
Yeah.
Why?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
There's no man on earth who stays with a woman because she stinks. What?
I don't know.
And now you're out here in these streets and you expect a sob story for that? You expect me to be like, oh, well, I really appreciate you holding a stinky sister down. Come on, man. I told you, if whatever, don't put it in there. But if my relationship was never to work, I'm fine just being single.
Every time I try, there is a reason as to why I need to be comfortable with being by myself.
Being single, like, because if this is what's out there, I'm going inside.
Yes, exactly. I don't have it to do. Like, there's a lot going on, and I got to sit here and worry about you and whatever you got going on, and then why this chick was stinking and why you felt the need to stay with her, like you said. So then now this very well could be something going on.
I'm okay. Like I said, I'm rational. I'm putting this into a weird niggas game. I gotta figure out a cool way that might get you to accept the fact that I got a disease.
What's the cool way?
I stayed because she stinks. So eventually we're gonna go down the street of, well, I got that. That's why I stayed. Because she stunk. You understand? I'm trying to tell you. Because why else do you tell a woman you stayed because she stinks? There's not even a sane woman that's going to respond with, I understand. The first question to come out of any human being's mouth is, why would you do that?
And that's what exactly
And his explanation?
I felt bad for her.
Right. You felt bad for you because you caught up and y'all just two stinky people. And now you got to figure out how to move to the next. And the only thing you can do is come up with a story. I'm sorry. There's nothing. I had a friend in high school, and it was high school, the summertime. And he's like, yo, I'm about to go over there real quick. Won't be long. stay in the car, man. Like, or take the car around the block. I said, all right, I'll take the car around the block. So before I could even get into the driver's seat, all you heard was, ooh, shit. He jumped from all I seen through the window of the house is him jumping from the top floor to the bottom floor, pants halfway at his ankles. He dove in the car. This is, swear to God, this is a true story. He dove in the car head first and was screaming, drive, nigga, drive. I pulled off because I'm thinking, wow, was there a dude in there? He said, no, smell this.
Ew, no.
It was the worst smell ever. And I mean that. Even to this day, I was like, damn. The funniest part about that is, though, his fingernail never grew again. His fingernail stayed the same length.
All right.
Do you understand the level of fungus you had to have to keep a nigga's fingernail the same length for years? It was a running joke. Like, did you ever cut that nail? He's like, I'm going to grow my nails just so y'all can see. Never grew. He soaked his finger in bleach that night. That's how bad it was. So now, with this being said, this brother says, I stayed because she stunk.
Mm-hmm.
You liked it. You liked it. That's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And this is exactly why I choose
Can we
to
stream
chill.
Kim dates live?
But this wasn't even, we didn't even make it to the date. This was just conversation on the app. Then the nigga had
We
the
were in
nerve.
high school, nigga, relax.
He had the nerve to say, oh, well, can we meet up? No, because nigga, you probably stink. Like, I don't know. No. But it was like this whole thing of like, oh, well, let's meet up this weekend. No, I don't have time.
It's not you, cousin. You have a good heart, and unfortunately, that attracts broken ones.
Oh,
I don't even. Is that a broken heart? This nigga's like stinky women. It's not a broken heart. It's a damn fool.
And maybe dysfunction. I don't know. And then on Sunday, a nigga drives past. I'm walking to a restaurant, and first of all, he slowed down and had tinted windows. So I'm already on high alert because, okay, what the fuck? Human trafficking. Don't know what the hell is going on. He rolls down the window. Can I get your number? Whoa. What is happening? Why are you yelling at me? And is this the way that we approach women now?
I don't have nothing left in me.
Like, I'm genuinely concerned and I have questions. Is this a thing? Like, is this what we're supposed to accept now moving forward? Just
So what happened when you said no?
I said, I kept walking. Like, he was driving past and yelling, can I get your number? And I was like, no, I have a man. And I kept right on going.
Sorry that this is your experience in the streets. It's terrible.
Isn't it? That's why I'm like, what is happening here? Like, is it COVID?
Is there anybody else experiencing that?
Crack? Is it weed? Like, what is going on? What is happening? I mean, I hear guys say the same thing. Some of the, single men, they'll say that they're having issues as well, but I don't think it's these type of issues where, you got niggas saying that, oh, I was with her for, a longer period of time because she stinks. And then people yelling out of cars.
Yeah, I just did what on TV did. I don't really have an answer for you, and I can't help you because that's sad. But I also, let's flip the coin. I'm in a meeting today.
Oh no.
No, man.
That's the Teddy P way.
I'm in a meeting today, and this meeting has pretty important people that's in this meeting. If you guys notice, on the left and on the right, I tended to my beard because I knew coming into this meeting, be on point. Because this meeting may have a lot of people in it that are not black. And what you're not going to do is catch me slipping on a virtual meeting because they expect us to not be on point. So as soon as the meeting comes on, everybody knows when you start a meeting, it goes, boom. The first thing I see is a brother whose beard looks like he just got done sharecropping and put his bag on the porch for it to be weighed. Looked like he had just put in his shift.
Oh, Jesus.
Then his hair was unkempt, uncombed, natural. Now it's
Not
just
the little sponge thing.
no, I ain't no sponge.
Okay.
Nigga ain't did nothing but just wake up. Now, of the 14 people,
14.
the 14 people in this meeting virtually, there are 2 black people, well, 2 black men, 1 sister, 1 lady of Hispanic or Latin descent.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, Caucasian.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you look like that?
It's on Zoom.
No, unacceptable. And I wanted to put in the message chat directly to him, hey, block out your screen.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be handling official business. It's hard to take you seriously that way because you didn't show up ready for official business. You look like you said, oh shit, I got this meeting, and threw a t-shirt on and then hit the button. And you're supposed to be, you're the point person.
Mm-hmm.
You're the point person. You're running the meeting.
Nah, I can't say that.
What is going on? And then now I look at it in a couple ways. Okay, so now I got to address this because
Was he younger?
I don't know. Can't tell because he looked like Grady. Shave. Sometimes I believe that we have gone with the idea of I am not my hair and all these other different themes that we tend to bring up. And we've allowed that to go into us just not presenting our best self. I get the curly froze. I get the little sponge things. I get that. I don't like it, but I get it. At least you attempted to groom yourself. But to be in front of people when we are handling serious business and not appear to look your best you is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And as another brother to a brother, I was highly offended that you look like this in front of these people.
That wasn't what got me. The other part is what got me.
Can't talk about the other part just in case somebody else is watching.
I know you can, but that shit, ooh, when I tell you that lit a fire under my ass.
Can't talk about that because I don't want to cause nobody to lose no contracts.
And I wish we could, because the way I want to cuss them the hell out.
I can make it hypothetical.
Can you?
Yeah.
Don't get too close.
Well, here's the hypothetical thing. Hypothetically speaking, what is Juneteenth?
A celebration of the emancipation of the end of slavery in Galveston.
Okay. What do you think people should be doing for Juneteenth?
Me personally, I think you should be celebrating some of the Black businesses in our community and spreading the word and trying to at least support them in one sort of way.
Okay. What wouldn't you do for Juneteenth?
Nigga.
See, set up right. I set it up right. What wouldn't you do for Juneteenth?
Pander to blacks.
What wouldn't you do? What else wouldn't you do? What would be a thing that you wouldn't do? Or not even just pandering about. What wouldn't you do on Juneteenth?
I would not have Black children planting watermelon seeds in the community.
Okay, so we got the Healing Consultant coming up next.
That's what I wouldn't do.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that. It's a PR nightmare. PR nightmare. It's a PR nightmare.
Yeah. Yes. You're asking for your organization to be canceled. Don't do it.
You're not even your organization. You're asking for everybody involved to have an issue.
Right.
And the one biggest thing, because I learned from I listened to on TV. On TV says, be in the back of the room and you pay attention. Listen to who's talking. Make sure you understand everybody in the room and their role and who's saying what. And today I learned firsthand what it's like to be in a room as a man who now has a seat at the table.
Mm-hmm.
But then you notice that other people who are sitting at this table don't understand their seat at the table.
Right.
It's important that we all be on the same page for that said reason. And it doesn't make a difference who you are. It doesn't make a difference what circle of people that you're in. We have to be at the table and always pay attention to every little thing that's said, because even the smallest little thing that you overlook is actually something that could really blow up in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of them.
Yes.
That was something that now we have to go back and look as a group, because our goal is to make sure that we put the best foot forward to those who we are serving. And that could be a PR nightmare.
Absolutely.
You don't want that.
No.
You don't want that.
I wouldn't even know how to spend that, to be completely honest.
Because I've thought about it. Literally. I'm like, so what can I do? What can I say? How do you, that ain't what you do. You don't do that. And so the thing about it is what is beautiful is being in a space where somebody respects the fact that you can say, hey.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. So, while you're dealing with people with bipolarism, I am also dealing with some of us who don't realize that when we're at this seat, because you're respected to be at this seat, and the seat now holds weight because it comes with responsibility of understanding that you now represent people who can't speak for themselves. That's not what we should do. And then be able to accept the backlash for it. Like, I'm like, oh man, am I political now? I got to tell on TV this one. Because this is like, I feel like this is my first political stance of like, guys, I don't think this is good.
It's not. It's offensive on so many levels.
Yeah.
On so many levels. And like you said, business wise, because let's keep things to business. You always got to go into, talking about money. Do you want to lose your funding? Because we're going to lose our funding if we do this.
There's a lot of people whose head will roll if the bad picture is taken with that. And I don't think I would want to be a part. Could you imagine me already on the face like
you just hear that?
I know the hell he didn't. I'm over there.
Don't do it. Oh God, don't do it. Don't. Ooh, that's going to be a nightmare.
We're not going to do that.
If my role was marketing or the PR representative, I would be pissed because God damn it, how do I spend this?
So here's what's funny. Even the marketing lady was like, huh? Like her eyes were like, I don't know.
No.
And it was suggested by someone in the group. And I don't know how anybody else took it, but intrusive thoughts, one, or emotions, one, because I immediately did this. And I wasn't muted.
No, but they deserve that.
Oh God.
I want you to sit and I want you to be uncomfortable because you were comfortable enough to say this.
Our marketing director's eyes got big, like,
And you know what I'm learning in these spaces as well? When someone says something idiotic, I repeat exactly what they said to me, to them very slowly, and then say, now, does that make sense?
There's nothing to catch on here. Here's what we don't do. I'm gonna just say it like this, cuz I had an experience where we're in this meeting and there's this beautification project that is happening. And you have some African American people in here, you have some Latin and Hispanic people in here, you have white people in here, you have a multitude of people. We are celebrating Juneteenth. Somebody in the crew of all these people brought up and mentioned that we should plant a garden. Because here's the thing, there's areas that they want to do that, which I think is great. Plant a garden, sunflowers, whole 9 yards. And somebody said we should plant watermelon. I said, oh Lord, I don't think we should do that.
And
okra.
And
Was there more? Did I say more?
Serving fried chicken.
Well, it was a food truck.
It's still fucking fried chicken.
So immediately, what I found funny was like the people who were uncomfortable were like, "Oh, okay," but then there's other people that's like, "What's wrong?" So I listened, and I just sat back and said, "Okay, well, let's see where this goes." And it sat on the table, didn't go anywhere. I'm like, no. So, like I said, I did end up saying, like, hey guys, I think imagery wise, we need to be conscious of that because we don't want to offend anyone.
No.
We don't want to offend anyone.
No. So yeah.
So it was an interesting day, and then that was interesting on your part. Like, we don't want to.
No.
Nobody should be offended, and we got to make sure you got to be conscious of that.
And you're in a Black community.
All Black, predominantly Black and Hispanic. That could not. That there's a lot of people going to be taking pictures. That could not end well. Like, whoa.
Then we cut. So what are you doing, young Tamika? Oh, I'm just planting some watermelon seeds. And if you look over here, we have fried chicken to feed the community. What? Oh, ain't no way. No.
On Juneteenth.
On TV.
On Juneteenth.
Come on.
So
on June fucking 10th.
Well, it's Men's Mental Health Month. I'm gonna let you know at this point in time, that immediately struck my mental health. Because what are we doing, people? This is not
spearheaded by people who aren't of color.
Well, but the person who is the project manager is. So yeah, that's what makes it worse. Like, we got to not do that. Like you said, the only thing we ain't doing is whistling Dixie.
Right. Get y'all some overalls while we're at it. Like, let's get on TV. Somebody saying it's so hot outside while I'm planting.
Right. Like, I don't think that's a good look. I don't. We should not do that.
Oh God. Oh, I would lose it. That
part we shouldn't.
The fact that you kept your composure in that meeting, I commend you, because I would literally be so upset.
What it was? It was years of Catholic schooling. Because this is not the place for that fight. This is years of Catholic schooling. Because should it be discussed? Absolutely. Right then, nah. No. But we're gonna talk about it. And I'm definitely gonna talk about it with some of the people that was in there and emailing. We're gonna recap. So let's recap what was said. And I don't think we should do that.
No.
Let's not do that.
No, let's not do that.
For multiple reasons. And the number one reason is, like, for me, that is a PR nightmare. Like, don't do that. Like, everybody involved could be dragged and it could be finished immediately. The wrong camera and the wrong person saying something about that.
And
the initiative of what's being done could just totally be washed out the way.
And then how do the kids feel about that?
Nowadays, they're going to tell you. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
You be like, get down there. Plant that good watermelon. I ain't doing that shit. Yes, you is. No.
Oh, Auntie V. Let's bring the healing consultant on, because that was crazy. Nigga, move. Gotta bring Auntie V on.
I thought she was what you want me to do?
Come on, Auntie V.
Oh. Yeah, what you want me to do?
Got my little pillow. I'm excited.
Let's do it.
So yeah,
I'm gonna see.
It's Men's Mental Health Month.
It is, yes.
Because that was crazy.
It was tough to deal with, and that's why I feel comfortable with addressing it, because I can literally walk away from there saying, guys, I have a problem with what was discussed as I reflected. You know what I mean? And I don't think for myself or anyone involved, that doesn't fit.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't fit. So let's not do that. Like,
or just very simply say, hey, y'all, let's recap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's recap this
Mhm.
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, and let's highlight a couple of things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's highlight this.
Yeah.
And as you
Yeah.
said, then repeat it back.
Yeah. I'm gonna repeat it back to you, and then say in a Black community during Juneteenth with Black children on Juneteenth.
Well, I don't even know if you have to start there. You can just recap and pause.
Yeah. So we had mentioned
And yeah, we
planting watermelons.
Mhm. And okra,
and okra.
serving fried chicken.
Serving fried
It's a food truck,
It's
man.
still fried chicken.
I
Do
did not
you
say that.
know?
I'm asking. Let us again recap.
Yeah. You know how
Please?
many food trucks are in Raleigh, and we specifically pick one that serves fried chicken for
Well,
Juneteenth?
there's another one that's going to have some desserts. I'm just saying this was it.
Well,
the reason why I
again,
feel comfortable saying this is because it's not my company's not doing it. I was
Mhm.
sent there as a representative to be at the table, and I'm sitting there like,
oh, yes.
I don't know if we should do this.
Well, like I said, you don't have to start with. I don't know if we should do. Just let's recap
Mhm.
on some of the discussion that we've
Mhm.
had today,
Mhm.
and then you proceed to recap.
Yeah.
But then you pause, and to show weight and emphasis.
Mhm.
So you say, okay, so we're going to do watermelon planting.
Mhm.
How does that? Let's think about that.
Yeah.
Watermelon planting,
Yeah. Let's.
and we're serving fried chicken,
Mhm.
and we wish to plant okra.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just want everyone to think about that for
Yes.
a moment. Let it sit on you for a minute.
Mhm.
And let's discuss when we're having this done, when we're going to do this.
Specifically the day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's think about that
It's tough.
before we decide to even, go further with this idea.
Mhm.
Tough.
Let's just wait. And then if people still don't get it, then you say, okay, y'all, I have tried delicately
I've tried.
to express to you
Yes.
that this is a bad idea
Yes.
and that we would not be participating in this.
No. No.
Because
No.
this is just not a good look for anyone.
No.
Because we're just one step away from picking cotton. I mean,
on Juneteenth.
that's what I'm saying. On Juneteenth.
On Juneteenth.
Literally.
I mean, literally.
Yeah.
Let's just pause
Mm-hmm.
and let's think about that for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's think about everybody's mental health after this.
Yes. Yes.
After this,
And
Yeah.
how the community will receive it.
well, they won't.
Yeah.
They won't.
Yeah.
They will be insulted,
Exactly.
and that's putting it mildly.
Mm-hmm. So
That's putting it mildly.
tell me if you still
So
think
it's
this is a good idea.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
You start slow, but then if people still don't get, then you build it. And then if people still aren't understanding,
Which I would hope.
well, I would too. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I would hope that you don't have to go okay, y'all, this
Mm-hmm.
is just a bad idea.
Totally
And
bad.
let me say that. Let me
Mhm.
tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because apparently we are not on the same page.
At all.
So let me point out a couple of things to you here as to why this is a hard no.
Yeah. Hard.
A hard no. Why this is a hard no.
Hard no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you wonder why people are exhausted and they're tired at work, because we have conversations like this where you would think we should not have to sit here and tell you how wrong this is.
Well, but that's part of what's going on. That's part of the overall big picture.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's part of the
Mhm.
whole overall big picture.
Yeah.
It is.
It's tough.
It is.
It's tough.
It is tough. And the fact that we are not we're not cognizant of
Mm-hmm.
is that's an interesting place to be.
Mm.
That's That's an interesting place to be.
And that's the part where just being a little bit more, because the decisions were talked about prior to our our entrance into the room. So when I'm sitting down, like, nobody thought that this might not be a good idea. Like,
no, somebody thought it was a good idea.
I was gonna say,
or it would not have been brought up.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, somebody thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are and that's someone who honestly, those are ideas that you just, hey, let's pop that up. No thought was gone.
None.
No, there was no thought.
Yeah,
None.
No,
Yeah,
there was no
no.
thought.
and
I
that's
just-
why I have to make sure, like, we're not going to do that, guys. We're not going to do that because we have kids that are going to be out here and
Yes.
working, and we're not going to do
Yeah, I mean,
We're not
you're just a couple of steps away from,
that. We're
the star,
not going to do that.
and that's not cool.
No.
Just not.
And that's yeah.
And then you end it there, and you go, okay, let's move on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, because
Yeah.
we're running out of time.
Yeah,
Let's move
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Because first of all, why we're trying to put an event together literally a week before shows how little you thought of it, and that
Oh,
really you don't care.
That's another.
Yeah,
That's
because
another
it's the
trend
same day.
that's left of the
Yeah.
Station.
So what's going? But like you said, we're not going to be,
Well, you can't
too
linger on
gung
it.
ho. Yeah.
You just can't linger on. I mean,
Yeah, that's
you
the
know,
biggest part. Like, I left there feeling like, okay, I'm gonna address this. I'm gonna, like you said, we're gonna recap this.
Yeah.
And we're not going to
We're
do
not
that.
No.
doing that.
Yeah, we're not
So,
gonna do that.
Mhm.
You know,
So,
you
but
recap,
yeah.
say,
You know, Jay, I don't think they do.
no,
what now?
no.
She said, "Do they know what Juneteenth is?" That's the question. I
So,
don't think they
Maybe
do.
not.
I think what happens is it gets washed away with like the thing that I noticed is it just gets washed away with the celebration, but the
celebration.
actual
Mhm.
meaning behind it, no, because the moment that you talk about the meaning, you probably wouldn't plant shit. I
No,
don't give a
you
damn if it
probably
was a
wouldn't.
rose. You're not
probably
planting
wouldn't.
anything.
No,
Like,
you'd be more of a it'd be more of a celebration
yeah,
Yes.
like, so
than it would an activity.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
In my humble opinion,
yeah,
it should be a celebration
correct,
and start from there.
yes, and that's what I was on. So, like I said,
why
today
are
I
you
was
trying to plant.
I
stuff?
pulled my
Yeah.
Period.
I did my best on
Who wants to be
TV.
out there planting. stuff?
And like Jay
And
said,
hot
it's going to be hot as hell.
Yes.
You
Who
want
made
me?
that comment? Because that's a correct statement.
No, I got to play.
Yes.
I listened.
You out
today,
there sweating
and
Look
did-
at
in places you should not be sweating. I mean, come on.
I listened today and did not.
You
I'm just
got
like,
kids out there.
Okay.
we're not going to do that. But
Mm-mm.
okay,
No.
we're gonna
Make
come
us
back to this. Yeah,
How much money is behind this?
can't say that.
Okay. But there is money behind it.
Of course. Well, I mean, nobody's doing it for free.
So then why can't we take that money and invest it back in a different way? Like, I guess they see it as, oh, we're investing in our community. But what I'm saying is we know that a lot of Black businesses are struggling. A lot of small businesses are struggling.
Yeah.
But this
So-
is like, it comes from the, you gotta remember, things come from the top. So here's something that was interesting that on TV, you probably know because you're into politics. And so today I learned this. There are areas in our major cities that are called paper streets. And these paper streets are areas where they've either they've decided to not pave it.
Mhm.
And usually these are in Black neighborhoods where they just kind of let
Underserved communities.
Yep, they just kind of let things just go.
Mhm.
And on paper, this is a street with a name that belongs to somebody.
Mhm.
So the celebration is to, in that area that we're looking to serve, that it is surrounded by paper streets. So they want to take certain areas and make parks where these paper streets are at for the community, because literally a lot of these areas that are overgrown is not because we just let the hood go. It's because these were areas that were once claimed but are no longer.
What does the community want in their community?
Mhm.
Great question.
Do
That
they want a park?
well, so then there was a survey done that said that they would like one, like
Okay.
One.
like they would like something like the sitting area, the beautification of that area.
Mhm.
So literally the area they want to, when I looked, remember I told you, I'm trying to figure out on the map where we would even do the beautification
Mhm.
project. Well, that whole area that's like weeds and wooded is the whole paper street. So that street historically belonged to somebody, and eventually they just let it go, and it was never claimed again. But so then that property belongs to somebody black, but then it was just overtaken by weeds and lack of
Does
care.
that person still own that property?
Right.
No. So on paper, I guess
So
the
it went
story
back to the city.
Yeah, on paper it went back to the city.
Okay.
So that's why it's labeled. These things are labeled paper streets. So there's nothing concrete about, like, for lack of a better word, there's nothing concrete about these streets besides you owned it at a time. It was written up that way, and then it was.
So now we're
paper.
going to
But now
take it
you
and
no
make it.
longer own it,
Now
and it is reverted back to the city.
Yep.
And the
so
city's
then
trying to figure out what to do with
now
it.
the city wants to clean these areas up because they are in depressed areas.
Yeah, but you still have to be cognizant of what the community wants,
Mhm.
what they feel they need.
Mhm.
I mean, one park, okay. Well,
Mhm.
then what are you going to do for
The rest.
the
Mhm.
rest of it? Is this a neighborhood that that needs to have fresh water, needs to have fruits, needs to have vegetables, need to
Mhm.
have what, because are these areas
Mhm.
that that need that type of help?
Mhm.
Um,
And so what
Because
you
that's
saying, man?
different.
I was going to do some independent study to find out about that because I felt
well,
like
the only way
you.
you're going to be able to do that is just go and talk to the community themselves,
Mhm.
and 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 actually go to them, because
Mhm.
they're not going to come to you,
No.
and actually go to them, because what do they, okay, a park,
Mhm.
but if you're going to help
Yeah.
the community after a park,
Mhm.
what else do they need?
Yeah.
Do they need a grocery store in their area, that serves fresh fruit and serves snacks for their area? Is it do they need transportation? Is it transportation issues? I mean, what is it about that community? Because
Mhm.
ideally, you're trying to build up a community
Mhm.
that has had a very difficult time for
Mhm.
whatever the reason may be.
Mhm.
And you know what also
Um,
is sad? The Perkins Orchid is the only black owned produce farm where they have like fresh fruits and things like that. He had to close his doors because mentally, and he just said, for a little bit because he needs
Oh,
to take
okay.
care of his mental health.
Okay, well, mental health is
Because
important.
some people felt as though when he would recite his story about why they're there and what they stand for, it was like braggadocious, and they took it as him just being a narcissist, for lack of better words, but really he was telling the story as you're
His
shopping.
story,
Yeah. And they were
Mhm.
berating him with like 1-star reviews and stuff like that, but the community enjoyed this place because he was selling fresh fruits and
Yes.
produce and fish, and he was infamous for the $25 bag. As long as you can fit whatever you can fit into
there.
it, $25, and then even if it was just like kind of hanging out, it still was included.
Yeah.
But now we're losing him based off of what a couple of people said. So now where does the community go? Because he's in Durham.
Where does the community go?
So
I think that's the point. I think personally, I think social media is a double-edged sword.
Mhm.
And I think that when someone is doing good work in the community,
Mhm.
I think that should be protected.
Mhm.
I think they should be protected
Mhm.
from that type of stuff.
Right.
I just do.
And like you
Because
said,
that's the thing, is that he's doing it. He said he's taking a break. So, but he was doing a good thing.
he was. And this is his legacy. Like it was passed down from his grandfather, father, all stuff like that. And then when you say like celebration, something like that, let's
It's a
celebrate
celebration.
him.
Absolutely.
What can we do to help you make sure that mentally you're still in a good space so you can continue to do what you have done and your forefathers have done for so long.
Yeah. And which goes into this month. Like I said, I think it's every month. You need to take care of your mental health.
Mhm.
But absolutely, especially when you're dealing with the community,
Mhm.
because that can be a lot. Because you're going to have people who aren't in a great space themselves.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And because they aren't in a great
Mhm.
space, misery loves company. So, they're perfectly okay with putting someone else in a bad space. And that serves nobody.
Mhm.
That serves nobody. And then you're taking away from a what I believe is an intentionally good act.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I just don't think that. Again, I don't think we should do that to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You know,
Mhm.
because the world's going to do enough. The world's going to beat you down enough.
Yeah.
I just don't think you need to. I don't think you need to do it to each other
Right.
as a community, because that's what you've got to build. And mental health is important to that, because if your mental health isn't great, then nothing else is going to be.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because you have no foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you can get beat down.
Yes.
You can get beat down.
And sometimes all it takes is that one review just to take
absolutely.
you over edge.
Oh,
You know, because
absolutely.
I don't know if you guys have seen it on social media, but I did see where one woman just felt the need to just keep pushing the narrative of, oh, well, he was so pushy, and it's like this has been open for decades, you know, and it takes one person, then here comes another person who may have felt the same way, but it wasn't really that, and now this is where we are. You know, so like you said, I feel for him, because I understand sometimes, like, fuck it, I got to protect my mental, health.
Absolutely. Sometimes, and you have to fall back,
Mm-hmm.
because I understand what that feels like.
Mhm.
You have to,
But
you have
then
to fall back and take care of
Now
yourself.
look.
Well, yeah, and it's the result of.
Mm-hmm.
It's the result of,
Mm-hmm.
because again, because sometimes you have to. It takes a community. Sometimes you have to, you have to have a community built to protect
Mm-hmm.
your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have people that you can depend on, because your circle becomes small.
And does it?
Yeah, it does. Just say it does. It becomes small.
Wheels are spinning. What's going on over there?
Talking to dude,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a terrible situation to be in, especially if you're servicing the community like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as you said, the community itself needs grocery stores, pharmacies, hospitals.
Yeah, definitely pharmacies.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They need
Mhm.
that, and
They need healthcare services.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
They need,
when
yes.
you stress someone who is providing that service that looks like you, that's a pretty terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And the just as many derogatory voices, it has to be combated with those who have had those pleasant experiences.
Mhm.
And at times, initiatives and campaigns don't do that, and they need to where now there's like a thank you campaign
Mhm.
where, thank you for serving the community for
Absolutely.
however many
However long it's been,
decades that he's
yes.
done that, and and then put a different spin on that narrative, because that's terrible for
He needs a
somebody.
good PR person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he needs a good PR person.
Because this was actually on Downtown Durham's
Where else you
page.
getting $25 worth of groceries
Right.
Thank
in a
you.
bag?
And that's
Thank
the
I'm about to
biggest
say,
thing.
nigga, I need you to open now.
Right.
Yes.
I need
Because
you.
and he needs to have even more people go out there and promote
And support.
Yeah.
Mhm.
what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's just like, the big whole social media. I think probably have seen it. The person that sells the yellow
Watermelon
watermelons.
lady.
The
Mhm.
watermelon lady.
Yes.
Mhm.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. And we lined up for those.
Yeah.
Did y'all?
No,
No,
Oh.
no, I didn't.
they.
Yeah, they
No.
did.
And they still do.
And they still do.
She's at the CVS now.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, like I said, this is Perkins Orchid, and they've been doing this. This will be their 55th season. They said we are the largest and oldest produce market in Durham. High quality produce, high quality customer service, and an atmosphere second to none. Try our $25 bag deal plus a free item. And they just put a note on Downtown Durham's page, and it says, in a sudden announcement, Durham's largest and oldest family-run fruit and vegetable market, Perkins Orchid, just announced their indefinite closure starting Monday. Sources tell us that there were recent incidences from customers. The website is defunct as well. In a follow-up, Perkins Orchid clarified that the closure is temporary and taking a step back for a short period to focus on our mental health and physical well-being, and to thoughtfully reassess our operations and long-term goals. In its 55th season, the market was founded in 1970 by Reverend Dr. Joseph E. Perkins, and it's located at 5749 Barbie Road in Durham.
Aw.
Yeah.
That is complete. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
But, obviously they were in a place where they needed to take care of their mental health,
Mm-hmm.
which is important,
Mhm.
because if you don't, this is what happens.
Exactly.
This is what happens if you don't do it, if you neglect it.
Mm-hmm.
this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad because I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Where it's just like I gotta take a step away, and like I
Yeah.
said, I did see it unfold earlier this year where one person felt the need to spread that, how he decided to deliver his message. And it's just like, come on, like I said, this is the oldest and largest fruit and vegetable, orchid, and this is what we do. Like,
Yeah.
now more than ever, like you said, this is when you depend on your community, surround you, and say like, no, we still need you.
Absolutely.
Because like, Coach just said, where else can you go to get $25 worth of produce plus a free item?
I know.
I'm literally reading the review from somebody just a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I have been shopping at Perkins for the better part of a decade. I absolutely love the deals locally and the shop. The $25 bag deal is just that, a real deal. If you haven't filled the bag all the way, they will tell you to go back and make sure that you do. Also, they have generous, the bag size is generous for $25. Usually something like a melon or perhaps a pineapple or strawberries, depending on the season, is what you should start with. Don't need just produce, no problem. They have local meat and fisheries here too. These are all grass-fed NC beef and pork, and it has the flavor to die for. Then there are other events throughout the year that they have, like pumpkin deals for Halloween and Christmas trees as well. It's a sad day that they have to close their doors.
Yeah.
So like you said, instead of us sitting here doing watermelon seeds, let's dig into our community and see who it is that we can help. And that's somebody right there who is not only servicing the community, they're bringing dollars into the community. They've been embedded into the community. So how do we help them to ensure that this indefinite closure isn't forever, but we possibly have a plan of how do we bring you back? What do we need to do to ensure that you can still service the people in your community?
Yeah. Or
every review is talking about the fill bag, so clearly
it's a thing.
It's a thing, and it's sad that the reviews that were causing the other issues,
which gets back to the project. There's just so much you can do with that project, and to celebrate. I know you have a short time frame, but to celebrate, because that could, that project could be okay. Let's clear it out. Let's make some of this a park, but let's make some of this useful space. Have local owned businesses that kind of not like a farmer's market, but just have an area where businesses, local owned business, like in their communities, if they have any, so they can go out there and feel free enough to engage in that community, whether it is produce, whether it is whatever they need, whatever they need. Because if you throw something out there and it's not being utilized and they don't need it, they're not going to participate.
No.
They have to have ownership in that too. And that's how it keeps going.
And so that idea, actually, I'll probably end up presenting myself, because it's 3 phases. Phase 1 was this, but then you're already, in my mind, I'm like, ooh,
right.
This isn't the direction. Like, pause, stop, wait, like,
because that's part of celebration.
Yeah,
that's part of the celebration. That's part of giving to, and not asking them to give.
Yeah,
because you're asking them to give. I know, as they say, God bless the child who has his own. So of course, I believe in that. However, that's not what you're doing. That's not your plan.
Right.
And that's my opinion on that. Because make it a cell. I mean, it's a thought. It's a thought. But I've learned that people will keep things going if they can participate and they have an interest in it, a vested interest in it.
Yeah. I think a good idea is, like you said, a true community mart.
Yeah.
You might be able to get a little bit of everything out of this area.
Because you don't know what's there.
Right. Right.
You don't know if that community just needs just a little bit. Just a little bit of somebody to invest in them. I mean, a park is great, but but unless you're gonna upkeep it.
Right.
That's the other part.
Unless
Right.
you're gonna upkeep it, it's
Yeah.
gonna grow back up again.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And
I
like, oh well,
mean-
this was the park that was here.
Yes. Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah. Do y'all remember when?
Remember that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Then
Yeah.
you got somebody in the background. We ain't asked for that fucking park.
I know. Like, what in the world? That's all I'm saying.
You know how
Baby
black
Jesus.
people are.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody want that damn park.
Uh-huh.
Like,
They be picking it on that part with
We thought
signs.
we were doing a good thing.
Yeah.
damn
And then you be on the
watermelons.
news again.
Damn watermelons.
Uh-huh.
Like,
They going rampant.
Right. Goodness. We didn't want this shit.
Now we got, farm animals sitting up here eating water. I mean,
Exactly.
now we
I
got
need
deer
blood
in the
pressure
place. We
med-
got, yeah. They've done more harm than good.
Hey,
I'm just,
Hey.
that's just, I mean, I'm just,
yeah, like let's just
I'm
sit
just
back
saying.
and think about this for a moment, guys.
Yes.
Like, come
yes,
on.
because then y'all really will be using the healing consultants products
Right.
to get over that trauma.
Right.
I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying.
I definitely didn't have
That's what I'm
drops
saying.
today, but I was able to maintain
Mm,
because
That's what
I
I'm
was.
saying.
I had my drops.
What in the hell was going
'Cause some-
on?
yeah,
Mhm.
you need them, don't you?
Oh, I did. I
Yes,
did.
right.
How
That was
quickly?
like,
Yeah,
Deal
'cause
with foolishness.
yeah.
You have to deal with foolishness.
things happen
every
so
now
rapidly.
And again.
Yeah.
and you're like, yo, how do we get
How do we get there?
How do we get
How
here?
did we get here?
Mhm.
Mhm.
This was a left. We were here,
Mhm.
and then somehow, boom, whoa, what? It's okay.
That's when you sit back and you just listen.
Yeah.
Because you listen to how much it escalates and how much people feed off of each other with
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah.
We'll talk off here.
Okay.
Because literally, the feeding was. I'm like, am I the only one hearing this?
No,
No.
you probably heard everything
like
you
you
thought you
said-
heard. And more.
What sucks is
good.
that there's not more of us in these spaces and in these rooms that, there needs to be. And I know that it's, a networking game. And I know because I've seen it happen, right before my eyes last week for several reasons where it was just like, oh, do you know this person? Yeah, I know her. She's great. Let's have her. Like, we didn't even look to see if she was qualified enough for something like this. But because it's that whole, our group, we know each other. You know this person, you know them, so that must mean that they're good people. So let's
Yeah.
go for it instead of just really taking the time to figure out who would be the best person
Yeah.
for this.
Putting people, the right people
Yeah.
in the seats on the bus.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Because I mean, you can be on the bus, but where is your seat?
right,
Mhm.
And do you really need to even be on the bus?
right.
You could be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Be a phenomenal person.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you're qualified to be on the bus.
Right.
It just doesn't. It
Mhm.
just that's a conversation that you need with your drop somewhere.
I was going to say, so thank you for your drops, because when I tell you this week, I have been dropping and dropping because I'm like, oh, there are a lot of unqualified people in positions. And I'm like, how did you get here?
Oh well,
How
there's
did
a
we
lot
get
of
here?
reasons why. There's a lot of
Yeah,
reasons
yeah.
why we got there.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah,
whole different show.
that is a completely different show.
It's a different show.
It's a completely different show. Yeah,
But
that's like a series.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, called How the Hell Did You Get Here?
Yeah.
But
Let us count the
Um,
ways.
like we said, the biggest thing is that it is National Men's Mental Health Month.
It is. It is.
And I guess my question, for you, because you're the only guy in the room, and for the guys who are watching,
Yes.
how do we help you with your mental health without us receiving burnout?
And what part? And the reason why I say that is because what part of the mental health aspect are you talking about for men? Is it in interpersonal relationships, self-care? Because it's multifaceted.
Mhm.
And I think the one thing that men tend to do is lump everything into one. And it's
Mhm.
like, nah, bruh, you can be okay in this area and
Mhm.
totally not okay in this area.
Mhm.
So I think that would probably be the starting point for just understanding what area you're suffering, because it's not all the same. And when I went through therapy, that's what I realized. Like, okay, you're good on the front where you have to work with kids. It's not an area where you suffer in mental health, but you are terrible when it comes down to the adults that deal with these kids, and you allow that to drive you in a way that is unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
So now you look at the job and you say, okay, well, then your job is teaching. Half of it, or more than half of it, is the kids, but then there's that 25% that's dealing with these adults. What do you do for self-care?
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of conversation that I think more men need to start having, because to answer that question in a broad sense, it's not going to answer any question, because they're not thinking critically enough about what they go through in the course of a day. So it's like, I hate work. Yeah, but what about work?
Yeah, what is it about work?
Yeah, what about
What's
work?
bothering you?
Because then we need to discuss that part. Like, is it something that can be rectified, or do we need to look for a new job?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then now when you tell a guy something like that, but I got to go to work. But what about your mental health?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So those are areas where I think men probably suffer the most, because they go into this mindset of providing. And then now with that comes all this weird weight that you put on yourself, expectations you put on yourself. And you think that you're hearing this from a woman, but you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're just hearing it in the back of your conscience, because somewhere down the line, you either heard or saw, this is what a man does.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't ever check it.
Mm.
And then by the time you do check it, there is a trail behind you of either people that you've hurt or things that you've left behind that you probably need now, coping skills and things like that that you did not even address. So to answer that question, it would be almost another question, which I hate doing, is like, well, what part do you see in men, because you're watching us?
Mm-hmm.
So what part do you see in us that you're like, I wish y'all would just, because, you know, like you with my knees, because you said my knees was ashy. I ain't had an ashy knee since.
You haven't. You sure have.
I'm proud of you, boo. I'm proud of you. Yes, I am.
We listen.
Yes,
I am.
we listen.
I am proud of
Now
you.
the other day it was my elbow though. I ain't hit
Well,
the elbow.
I didn't get you with the elbow.
But it was I ain't had an ashy knee since.
And you know, it was like squirrel.
Yeah.
What in the world? What is going on with this, son?
It was. What is going on? I ain't had an ashy knee
What
since.
is going on,
Yeah.
young person?
And
What is going on?
when you so you know.
Oh,
You know, because I know, because we were here.
Yeah.
And we were having a conversation of what I don't know about.
Yeah.
But it was. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
We were talking about the oil.
Was that what we were
We were
talking
talking
about?
about the oil.
I was just like, what?
And you were saying how it moisturizes. And
Yes.
I was like, I guess I need to put it on your knee. And you were like, you do.
I'm sure in my head, I was like, what in the blue blazes?
because what's going on?
What is going on?
It depends. And that's the thing. When you find a person who will listen, like sometimes what you guys see, it helps us when you're okay to have the critical conversations about self. And I think a lot of men have to be okay with the critical conversations and not taking it personally and know that it's coming from a caring place.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that a lot of men, and that's why you see the whole quote unquote sassy thing going on. You see a lot of men that don't know how to express the fact that they haven't been heard. And so then it comes out in
anger. Like, whoa.
Because
very aggressive.
very
Yes.
aggressive,
Very
because they
aggressive
feel
form.
like they have not been heard. So
Yeah.
it's like they're fighting for every minute to make sure their point is being heard.
Yes.
Which that's a whole nother lane, right? So then why do you feel like your voice hasn't been heard?
Right.
And you know, you start going too far down some of these lanes with guys and they're not in touch with themselves, they'll shut down.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And but you know, it to their defense, I think that's a lot. That's most people if they're pushed like that.
Yeah.
Whether it's male or female. I think you just or other.
Yeah.
You know, you do.
Yeah.
You just tend to shut down because that's I really believe that's your brain helping you survive. I do. It's a survival mode. Your brain just it shuts down when it knows that you've had enough. You're threatened. You've had enough. You can't do it, and it does. It will just go. Yep. No. We're done. And whether that manifests itself in anxiety, whether it manifests itself in depression, you know, where you sleep all the time and you can't seem to get up. it's your mental health. It's your brain saying, okay, you've had enough.
Yeah, we are at capacity.
Yeah. They have beat you down enough. Life has beat you down enough. We're done.
What? No, as she needs just a long-term smell fingernail that don't grow.
It wasn't my fingernail.
I was gonna
Jesus
say.
Christ.
I was gonna say, I don't know about that.
It wasn't my fingernail, bro.
Yeah, I think apparently you need to emphasize that.
Yeah, it wasn't me that jumped out the window. It was somebody else
Apparently.
that jumped in.
They didn't hear the whole story.
Yeah, no, it wasn't me.
No.
But no, I do believe like men need to start. I think the starting point for a lot of men is having critical conversation, addressing when something is wrong.
But I feel that they have to have a safe space to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think that men, in my opinion, men are not like women, because we will talk.
And we'll,
Yeah.
You know, we'll talk. We'll talk because our conversation can be like, what
all right.
is on today?
Yeah.
And then it could just be this argic moment where it's just like it just runs.
Yeah.
And we just let it run.
Mhm.
Make a couple of comments. Really? But men don't. Men don't have that. They don't do that.
They don't.
You
But
know,
you know what
they'll
else
say,
men
"I'm
got to
fine."
do though? Look in that damn mirror. Because your ass ain't okay.
Yeah.
And I think
Please.
that's the biggest part is saying that I'm not okay. Now, once I say I'm not okay, then now we got to move. But like I am fighting with a friend tooth and nail. I want to punch him in the face every time because I keep saying, just go to therapy.
That's
If
tough.
you just go to therapy and talk to somebody, I promise you'll feel different. You don't have to stay in therapy. Just
No,
go
you
try it
don't.
out.
But that's tough. Because like you said, you're forcing yourself to have to look in the mirror. And a lot of people are uncomfortable with that.
Well,
Well, but don't you think that's a process? I think I think the beginning is just to go
Yeah.
and talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In a space, in a non-judgmental space,
Mhm.
safe space,
Mm-hmm.
where you know that you can just say it.
Mm-hmm.
get it out.
It doesn't offend anybody. It doesn't. You just say it. It's just out there, and it can live out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly why I believe more men should go because we're worried about the response.
Yeah,
I
you don't
tell you how I
have to be.
feel and you'll use it against me. How many
Yeah.
times have you heard
Mhm.
men say that? Okay, so then take your ass to
It's
therapy
the safest place for
because
you to do it.
I promise once that hour is up,
Yeah.
you leave and you're not going to hear about it again until the next session.
Mm-hmm.
And you may not even hear about them
Yeah.
because it has to be, it's a cumulative thing.
Yeah.
Because we've got to understand what it is.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So, it's a conversation.
yeah.
But it's just that. Or it can be not a conversation. It could just be you just getting it
Just
out.
getting it out.
And it just lays there.
It stays there.
Yeah.
And when you leave, you feel lighter.
Yeah, you
I
do.
Promise.
Mhm.
And that's what I just
Yes.
keep telling this dude. Like, if you go
Yeah.
and you just talk, you get it
Mhm.
out because literally the residue that we see, even in other men to men, you see the trauma. And
Yeah.
it's like you say, all right, bro, let's get a drink. All right, let's go get a
Mhm.
beer. All right, let's go smoke a cigar. All right, let's do whatever that vice is. That's the human to human, the rectification of whatever that issue is. And that's wrong.
Mhm.
Go talk to somebody and you'll realize that you probably don't even want that drink anymore. You don't even
Mhm.
want that cigar. If you do, it's like I actually like it because I'm a connoisseur of it. Like I like the taste
Yes.
of it versus
Yes.
I'm doing it as a vice to escape.
Mhm.
Escapism
Relief.
is the issue. We're trying to escape from something and you can see it. If I don't care if it's video games, I don't care if it's going out, I don't care if it's like you said, snacking or it's all escapism.
Mhm.
But if you talk to somebody, I promise you, get it out, you feel all better. And it's their
You
job to listen to this.
Absolutely.
You're like, word.
Yeah.
Once you get it out, I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
let's go.
Because it's not coming back on you.
Yeah,
No.
that's it.
No one's gonna bring it up in an argument. No one's going to hold you accountable for
Mhm.
whatever it is that you get out there.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because you're just getting it out.
Just get it out. Mhm.
You just got to get it out.
Mhm.
And you're right. Men don't do that very well.
No. And that's the starting point.
That is.
Because once you start getting it out, you're going to want to keep getting it out. So, like, for
Absolutely.
example, my therapist has been on here multiple times. When he told me, hey, man, you're doing good, man. We're going to go from every week to 2 times a week. I'm like, you sure, brother? Like, I don't know. Who am I going to talk to? Like, but it also started before even that of, oh, man, I don't know. I'm going to make the appointment. That's how it started.
Right.
Like, I guess I'll just see how this goes. Now I'm like, man, what you mean, man? 2 weeks, man. What are you saying? Like, because you get used to being able to get it out, reset, and fill it up. Well, you're gonna fill up with bull shit again. And by the time you get to the next session, drop it out. And you're like, so you're starting fresh each week versus carrying it over and letting these bricks build up. Yeah. And then next thing you know, you got a whole wall inside of you that you're like, why or how? And you're screaming behind it because you really want help.
Yeah, because eventually you learn what bricks to pick up and what bricks not to.
And a lot of them you just drop.
A lot of them you just drop. A lot of them you just drop.
I don't even want to deal with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Or you just recognize that this is not my brick to pick up.
Yeah.
I mean,
kick it right to somebody else. Here, you take that because that's not my problem.
So, eventually you'll say, that's not my brick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not my brick.
Right.
That's yours.
Yes.
You can keep that.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I think, and the other part is, I think I don't care what your thing is. I just think you got to figure out what governs you, be it spiritually or whatever. You got to have something there too, and I'm not saying that everybody has to be a Christ believer. Everybody got to be Muslim, Buddhist or whatever, but there's something that governs you and you got to tap into that. And I think that's another area where I would like to see more men tap into that side of just what governs you. You can't just think that you got all the answers of everything all the time. You don't. So what spiritual side do you have to you that can, kind of motivate you when you are in the pits? And because you got, as we talked about numerous times, it is not just one thing. This is a village of remedies.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and that's the key.
Yeah, it's a village of remedies.
Because there's not one cure all.
Right.
No.
Right.
It's just not. And and you have to. We always talk about a community,
Mm-hmm.
and that's part. And getting and learning and acquiring skills.
Yes.
To cope with life. Because it just is.
Right.
There's not going to be just one thing. This is a cumulative thing. These are things, that you have to gather and you have to pick and choose and you have to see what works for you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to work for you.
Yes.
And learn how to take the hits.
Yeah.
Like my analogy is football. You have pads, certain pads do certain things. And so you know how to take certain hits because you're protected in certain areas. But if you don't take the time to put your equipment on, like, okay, I got my drops. Okay, I got my little spiritual music I listen to. Okay, I got my therapy appointment this week. If you don't put none of this protection on, you just out here raw dogging life.
You ain't lying. And eventually life is going to raw dog you.
Listen.
Listen.
You just out here raw dogging it, and that ain't gonna work. Because you gotta make sure you have these tools to equip you because the hits come from different angles.
Absolutely.
And one minute you're thinking everything's cool here, and you get blindsided by something. Now, like you said, now it's everybody got to feel my pain, and it's like, well, no, let me assess where this is coming from. And I promise you, as a person who had a temper, now I have the ability to be like, nah, we ain't even gonna worry about that. Like, no, it's not that important.
It's not one of my give a shit.
Right. That's it. Because you can't fight every battle 100% on every front.
Absolutely not.
Can't do it.
No.
Can't
It'll wear you out.
Yeah.
It'll wear you out in a day.
Yeah.
Right.
Let alone, life.
Right.
No.
And there are things.
So many of them you can give away today.
Me and Kim were joking that, and with some people, when you are in touch, you got to realize you got to make that one time that I'm going to spaz out a very good time. It can't be just on some trivial shit, because if I spaz out on something trivial, then I won't be able to do it when it counts. There's going to be a time where you have to, as our brother Kendrick said, you got to pop out and show people what the hell's up. Yeah. But you calculate that.
Absolutely.
And some of this shit that we address doesn't even need it. It's like,
it doesn't even warrant a response.
No.
It doesn't even warrant like a look.
No.
I mean, you just kind of
okay.
And
keep
you
it
walk
moving.
Yeah.
Even and that that's even like when people are arguing with you, and you're like, yeah, okay, I heard you. Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and people try to make the point. Okay, so you know what? I've already said. I've already said okay. And then if it's because that gives you enough time to go, is this important to me?
Right.
No. And I'm not going to give one away.
How far am I? Yeah, how far
Not
am
to
I willing to go with this
Yeah.
one? This ain't it.
And this ain't it. So I'm gonna stop this now.
Yeah, we're gonna table this.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm not even gonna table it.
the thing. These young ones don't
Can't come-
have this capability.
Yeah, I know.
And that's
know.
where I think a lot of the work needs to happen. Like, I'm not saying that the older bros are just out of it.
Because they're not.
We're not.
No.
Go to freaking
No.
therapy. Let's start having these conversations.
Yes.
But what I will say is that the younger men right now are lost about how to handle these emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Emotions were, I hate to say it, were kind of beat out of us. You don't cry, you don't do this, go to work, get a job, take care of this. You got the straight, hard, rigid, this is what the hell you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
That's what being a man.
yeah, this is what being a man
Mhm.
is, right? So then now we're looking at you numb, like, what do you mean have feelings? Well, because the feelings was beat out of us.
What?
But what do you mean have feelings? Ain't got no damn feelings.
But you
I'm gonna go grill and build a house. You be like, what the hell? You know,
Yay.
put an alternator in.
Yes, that's what I'm
I'm
talking
gonna
about.
change some damn brakes.
Okay.
Give me a 6-pack. Like,
Oh,
that's
wow.
the type of weird shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Then you be like, why does everything inside me hurt?
Hurt. Yes.
This is aggressive. But
Yeah.
okay.
And then you're wondering why you got high
Okay.
blood pressure,
Yeah,
and
and
why
then-
you can't sleep at night,
Yeah.
why your
Why you're not
anxiety,
sleeping
heart
past
attack.
70? Yeah.
Just,
Why
just,
you're, yeah.
just make me some grits and some sausage. You be like, man, what the hell?
Like, I want
Yeah.
baby.
So then-
You want some eggs with it? I love a manly man. I'm sorry.
I know.
See?
I,
See the
I
shit
do
I'm talking
understand
about?
what you're saying. But
I know.
we
Now
have
he's
to
dead at
redefine
59.
what a manly man
Yes,
is.
exactly. Now, I still want you to be in touch with yourself and get
Yeah.
the help that you need, but fix something around the house.
Yeah.
What you want to eat? I
Yes.
got you.
Yes.
Mm.
Because there's something, there's
Mm.
something really, sexy about
Yes.
a man who can not only express himself,
Yeah.
but do it in a way, but
Mm.
do it in a way that's, you're like, oh, okay.
Right?
Okay, let me help you.
Yes.
Okay, baby. Okay,
Yes.
I hear you.
What you need?
Uh-huh. I hear you.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Sounds like you need a timeout. Why don't you go over there and
Exactly.
take a timeout?
Right.
Yeah. Meditate on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go over here and take care of that.
Hello.
Yeah. And good evening. Because that will be a good evening.
Yes.
And I think people don't understand that.
Right.
They don't.
They don't
Mhm.
understand that.
I
Mhm.
personally, as a man, can tell you, like, since therapy, my relationship has changed because my
Yeah.
communication has changed.
Absolutely.
It's not as angry about everything. So then when I am angry about something, then it's like, yeah,
Ah!
you know me, my nigga. I was angry about everything.
Ooga booga.
Yeah.
Ah!
You cook Brussels sprouts in the air fryer. Don't do that. Ugh.
Send him over the fucking edge.
Say and you have to learn that that's not a big deal.
It's so
It's
not.
not.
It really
It's not.
isn't.
It's not.
If the
But-
smell
Not.
bothers you, break out some Febreze or whatever.
But what did you say after you got it out? You said, you know what? It's not that big. Of a
Yeah,
deal.
it's just me
really
tripping.
isn't.
But I had to leave.
It really isn't.
I had to leave the house because that was
Okay.
crazy. Like, what are we talking about? That was
That
crazy.
was great.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Because it wasn't just Brussels sprouts.
It wasn't.
It wasn't.
It wasn't
It was.
just
That just
Brussels
took you over the edge. And these
Yeah.
goddamn Brussels sprouts
Yeah.
in the goddamn air fryer.
Brussels
Ah!
sprouts should not send you over the edge. In no way, shape, or form.
Sad about everything else.
Yeah, you
And
were
then-
mad about everything.
But I
else.
can, and I, like I said, I always like to be transparent because y'all tend to enjoy the fact that I tell my business on this show. But the thing that I got yesterday, and this is since therapy and changing my point of view, changing how I communicate. Here's what you hear from your woman. I love our life together.
Aw.
Now I asked her that shit 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was get out my face. This ain't gonna work. This ain't. But when you pivot and you start taking care of you,
That's
then
right.
you can then value
Mhm.
who's around you, who's also assisting,
Mhm.
taking care of you.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Because I made a joke with her. I don't remember the last time I bought toilet paper. Think about that.
Hmm.
You still wipe your ass, don't you?
Right.
But when's the last time you bought toilet paper?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember. It'd be the small things.
Mm-hmm.
When you go in there and pull out paper towel, have you ever went there and there's not been paper towel there?
Mhm.
Yeah.
When you walk in the door, has it always had a smell to it that smells nice and
Mhm.
fresh, and hasn't it? Like, and these are things when you're angry, you just be like, fuck everything.
You toilet paper. I want 2-ply, not one.
Right. Yes.
But then when you start taking care of you, you become appreciative
Right.
because you're like,
Yeah.
taking care of me, you notice other things that are
Mhm.
happening
Mhm.
around you because you're not stuck in this angry place.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
and it's important.
It is. It is important,
Mhm.
and it helps relationships.
Mhm.
it will help young people. It will help you get a relationship, a quality relationship.
Right. And you won't be around stinky people for no reason.
That's wild. I don't even know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. So therefore, I'm not going to comment.
That's wild.
It is wild, ain't it? It's the wildest shit I've ever heard.
I mean, there's nothing I can do with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing I
Right.
can do with
It's
that.
the wildest thing I've ever heard.
So
Yeah.
somebody like him, you need to come off and you need to go to therapy and deal with what you need.
You gotta start taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
People need to take care of their
Mhm.
mental health
Mhm.
because that's the core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the root.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of your mental health.
Yeah.
And it will take care of you.
And will.
It will.
Yeah.
You take care of your mental health, it will take care of you.
And movement. You know,
Yes.
like when people, say, oh, well, I don't work out, you should, because
Mhm.
that helps with your mental health as well.
does.
Even if it's something just as simple as I just got up and walked today, get some vitamin D, some fresh air. You don't realize how much your mood changes when you're frustrated. You go outside, take a walk, get some fresh air, a little
Touch some
vitamin
grass.
D. Yeah, touch some grass. You
Touch
come
some
back and you're
grass.
like, well, what the hell was I mad at again?
Uh-huh.
Just
Gotta pay
It's like,
attention to things
yeah.
kids do. We
Yeah.
kids touch, like you said, touch grass. They like earth, stuff like that. As
yes.
soon as my kid got to the park yesterday, she immediately took off her shoes.
Yeah.
Like, let me
Aw.
just
You gotta
be out
touch
here.
grass.
You know what I'm saying? Let me just be
Mhm.
out here.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody else is all tight. And kids are just like, I'm out here. Like,
Because kids know.
yeah.
Mhm.
If you ever want to know how to act, be around a child.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they are just completely
Free.
disinterested.
Mhm.
They don't care. It's about them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do whatever makes them happy
Mhm.
at the moment. Yeah, they are. Whether that is no, I want that, give it
Yeah.
to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Or whether
Don't touch that.
Don't yes.
They set the best boundaries.
They
I don't want
do.
you to have
I
that.
don't
Mhm.
want you to do that. I said no.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They are like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
hmm
If you truly want to know how to act and
Yeah.
take care of yourself,
Be around
watch
the
your child,
kid.
because a
Right.
child will tell you, mind your own business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They may not say it that way to me,
Mhm.
but
Right.
Yeah.
like, no,
Mhm.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And like you said, then they find enjoyment in the simple pleasures.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like there are these two kids in my neighborhood every single day. Like you said, no shoes. They're
Yeah.
running in grass, playing with bubbles, and they're having a good damn time. So much
Yes.
so that I was like, well, damn it, I think I want to play with bubbles
Yes.
too.
Yes.
I know.
You know,
I
I-
went through
I
the
said,
water
"Okay."
sprinklers yesterday.
Yes.
Nigga frolicked yesterday.
Right.
Frolic.
There's nothing wrong with
Because
it.
the new park that's opened up down in where's Dorothea Dix
Yeah.
downtown?
Yeah.
Man,
That's what that
it's
is.
it's big enough for adults.
Oh,
Like everybody can be a part of it. So yesterday we went and Yara was like, Daddy, you gonna go in the water? I was like, you know what? Why not?
Why
And went right through the water.
did you feel good?
Felt great.
I know,
It
that's
felt
right.
wonderful to be a child. To let that little child, that
Mhm.
inner child
Yeah.
out.
Went right
And it
through
doesn't
it.
matter what
Yeah.
you look like.
No.
It
Mm-mm.
doesn't matter what you look like.
I'm over there spinning the water so it comes out faster for the kids and
Yes.
had a great damn time.
You got it. Dance your ass off somewhere in public, and it don't matter.
And don't
By
matter.
yourself if you want to.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It
And I
does
think
not matter.
it's funny because I was just having this conversation with my coworker about it, about how people don't take time to enjoy things. And you and I were talking about it as well. When they go to events, they're on their cell
Everyone's
phones.
on their
Yeah.
phone.
And he was like, I would love to go to a place where people have to lock their phones away and just have fun. You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about being recorded. You don't have to worry about what other people are doing in other
care.
places while, on your phone, but just go and have a good damn time.
Literally.
I do. Like I said, you won't see me
Mm-hmm.
with phone. It's gonna be in my purse at a concert because I'm here to have to
Thank
listen to
you.
you and have fun.
Because how often do you go back and look at those videos of you
Rarely.
recording the person
No.
that was performing?
Rarely.
No. Well, honey, somebody has recorded it for you.
Yes,
You can look online. For it.
exactly.
Your
Exactly.
time is to be in the moment.
In the moment.
In the
Mhm.
moment and in the joy of the moment.
Mhm.
Because I go to concerts and I do not sit down.
I
My
know
feet
that's
are
right.
hurting, and my throat is. The
Mhm.
voice is gone. I have had a good time.
Hello.
I have had
Mhm.
a good time, and that's making memories. And that's
Period.
what you need to do.
I know that's right.
Make memories.
Come on.
Definitely was Black Boy Joy. And what was hilarious was I wasn't the only dad doing it. Like
I love that for
No.
you.
there was dads everywhere, like spraying kids. Like
Yes.
there's like this pump that you pump it here, but it sprays down there.
Mhm.
And I caught some kids that didn't know that I was the one getting them wet, and they're looking around, what's going on? So I was, psst. And a couple of dads caught me like, do it again. And like, we're laughing at the kids having a good time. Like,
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
If you could have more good times,
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm telling you, your stress level will go down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You just, you'll just be a happier person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
Because you're only going through this one. You're only going through this life.
Yeah.
one time.
Mhm.
Yep.
And you can't spend your moments because you don't get them back.
Right.
Yeah. You're not going
Mm-mm.
to get them back.
Yeah.
We only have but so many summers to go through here.
That's
y'all.
it.
Right.
It's not infinite.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Enjoy every moment because you can't get it back.
Right.
No.
Right.
You just can't.
Right.
And I want that for Black men. I want to see more Black boy joy because when you genuinely see Black people enjoying themselves, I
We
love
do
that.
it like no other.
It's
I know,
funny.
right?
We do it
So
like
here's
no.
the new
other.
park. The new park got
People
this grilling
cocktails.
area, right?
We so much fun.
And I'm over there looking at the grill like, And I looked up and there was another brother over there doing the same thing. Like, we both made eye contact. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
if I told Chiquita, if I had some, because I had charcoal in the trunk. If I had some food, I would light it right now.
Absolutely.
Brother was like, me too. I swear I
Right.
would. Like,
Absolutely.
he said, next thing you know, we're going to have this whole park lit.
Listen.
And yes, we would.
Absolutely. Some
Kids eating
music.
hot dogs, everybody
Yeah.
running around. Like,
Exactly.
they don't know what they created up there.
Right.
Like, because it's a great place to have fun, and you can clearly see like the tone is set of come up here with that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You can go somewhere else. This
Mhm.
is for everybody to have. Yeah, it's a
family,
family
yeah.
park.
Yeah.
But to see other men having fun and all that, you wanted to start taking pictures. Like, this is debunking
Yeah.
what people
Mhm.
Yeah. 'Cause
think.
that you want to post.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is debunking
that's
it.
what you
You
want
got
to post.
men coming down slides, laughing and shit.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it was a wild day where you just see everybody just having fun, and
And
it
that's
was
what it's supposed
multicultural too. Like, it wasn't just one group of people. Everybody was having fun. Black kids, white kids, Middle Eastern, everything was out there just having a good time. But it was a lot of men enjoying it with the kids.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the thing now. They posting videos of men with their children
Mhm.
and doing the walks
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
and having fun. And I hate this. I love it. I love it. I just hate that that they didn't feel like they could do that all alone.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I just hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that
yeah.
because or that I'm not going to say they need permission,
Mhm.
but for so long, for whatever reason,
Mhm.
they didn't think they could.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And I think that's sad.
yeah. Because
Really
like
do.
I said, it was rigid.
Yeah.
And it was how we were dealt with. And I think a lot of people want to debunk that because literally, even though it was reversed in our home, but still, it was still very do this, do that. You don't do this. You have fun through sports. And it's like, well, I want to do other things besides have fun through
Absolutely.
sports. And most people don't get, shut up. Most people don't get a chance to,
Had fun.
most people don't get a chance to enjoy that where it's like, well, I have other talents and other things that I
Yeah.
want to do. And I think these younger guys are resisting that old school mentality that we had. Because even when you try to be like, no, because we trying to do, they look at you like, what? No, why?
Yeah.
And
Good things and bad things with that.
I agree. Because I
Yeah.
do believe it can go too far left too. Like
Mhm.
there needs to be, as Lena said, no emotional regulation.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
you got to be able to regulate this. You can't
Yeah.
go too far left and too far right.
Mhm.
As we said before, and especially talking about your products, we want a nice balance,
You just
nice
want
baseline.
balance. Yeah. That's all you want is a
Yeah.
baseline.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be down here though.
Mhm.
You just want to just want balance.
Mhm.
Because if you can just get some balance, you can work out the rest of it.
Right.
You can work out, you can start adding things
Mhm.
to your I always say skill set, but it's not even just a skill set.
Mhm.
It's just emotional tools
Yeah.
because life is happening.
Yeah.
It happens to you every moment,
And
every
it's
second.
rolling.
Of the day.
It is rolling.
It is.
Mhm.
It is. And unless you can have a base, a
Mhm.
starting point,
Mhm.
unless you can get to that,
Mhm.
then it's just going to overwhelm you. It's going to be like a tsunami,
Mhm.
and it's going to be every day, and it's going to be relentless.
Mhm.
Mhm.
You feel like
Unless
you're
you-
always chasing it.
Yeah, unless you understand, unless you learn how to surf the wave,
Mhm.
because it's a wave.
It-
It's
yeah.
a wave, And if you can't learn how to surf it,
Mhm.
Then it's going to drown you.
Mhm.
It's going to drown you.
Yeah,
And the only
my ass was
thing I'm trying to
drowning.
do is just help you surf the wave, honey. Just help you surf the
Man,
wave.
I appreciate you.
Well, that's
Because
what I'm
my
here for,
ass
baby.
was drowning.
That's what I'm here for.
Whatever, man.
Y'all.
Always had a good laugh with me, my nigga.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. The laughter part is sometimes covering up so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So much hurt. Like you figure, because that's one thing Black people will do. We will turn the worst situation into a joke.
Yes.
And you'd be like, damn, y'all, this ain't funny, but it's funny, but it ain't funny. We shouldn't be laughing at this shit.
Comics.
Yeah, this is true pain.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor, that was true
Yes.
pain.
Yes.
When I finally watched this documentary, I'm like, oh my Lord, this man was suffering.
Yeah, he was.
And we were laughing at him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was telling us how bad he was suffering in his jokes.
Well, that's the way he got it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't watched it, it's on, I want to say it's on Hulu, but watch it because it talked about how he originally started like Bill Cosby. You could see how his act was very clean, just like Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
But then as life continued to happen to him, he made a flip and he got on stage one day and told exactly what was happening. And instead of people getting offended, they laughed.
Mm-hmm.
And he never went back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Richard's a sad tale.
Yeah.
He was brilliant.
Yes.
Incredibly brilliant. But out of that was, I mean, it just manifested.
Raised in a brothel.
Comment. Yes, he was.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, like he was raised in a brothel. How crazy is that? Watching your mom go through that, like woo.
That Harlem Nights thing was very
man.
I'm sure parts of that he could relate to.
Right. And that's what men. We got to get over that because some of us have some dark things inside of us, and you got to go tell people. Just like the men who have been sexually assaulted who never tell. And you live with that, but it comes out in other places.
It does.
And you got to handle that. You got to go tell somebody about it. Like you said, that won't use it against you, but you can just lay it out there and walk out the door.
Absolutely. And it stays exactly where it is.
Yes.
You don't even have to pick it up if you don't want to.
No, ever again. Because even you can tell to your therapist, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
And then that's that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the way it works. But you have to have a place. You have to have a place to do that.
So take y'all ass to therapy.
And then don't get mad if your community isn't in the right space to hear it, or your partner. Because sometimes that's like, I don't have the space for this right now. I just don't. So go to therapy.
Yeah. Or check your community. That's another thing I had to do. Sometimes you got the wrong people around you.
It's true.
Well, I'm saying if it's like constant, like if you're like constantly dumping on, a person, it's like, well, wait a minute now. Hold on. You might want to go to therapy because it's now becoming a habit to where you're using this person as your own personal therapist, and that's not fair.
Yeah, I agree. Most men dump because they feel like the other person ain't gonna stop them. And then when you stop them, then they drive their truck to another house and try to dump it there. That's what leads to cheating. I promise you that. So it's like it's a safe haven. So then now I can't dump with you anymore. Oh, okay. Well, then I'll tell her, and then she'll listen, and then you dump over here, and then she gets mad or frustrated. Then you go find another one to go dump. But literally, you're treating people like therapists, but you just won't go see a freaking therapist.
Right.
Just go see a therapist.
Just go to therapist.
That's a very interesting analogy you got going on there.
It's very true. Like these dudes.
Yeah, I didn't.
These cats,
I didn't say
they will look for a woman to do everything to try to fix what's wrong with them. Bro, just go fix yourself.
You got to fix yourself.
And if you fix yourself, then now you can operate in a different way with the women and people in your space.
And if you fix yourself, you'll find out that you'll travel in different circles.
Immediately.
You will.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yes.
You will. You'll travel in different circles.
Because it's hard to have conversations with people that aren't healing when you are healed.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You'll learn to navigate through that and be more selective on who you let in your space.
Yep.
It's just the way it works. Oh, okay. Yay, team.
So with that said, go get your gummies, get your drops.
Yes, the Healing Consultant. HealingConsultant.com.
Roll on, salve, oil.
Yes. Let us help you, honey.
And the next time we do this, James will be here.
Oh, yay.
So
So I
Always
do
a
have a
good time.
question for him.
you did? What was the question?
Well, and it might be too much for the show, but that whole trying to make the man or a child the man of the family too young,
Oh,
and the
yeah.
pressures
Wow.
that comes with that, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's a lot. That's
it
too
is.
much.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's
Let
what
a child be a child.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm seeing that a lot where it's like, oh, well, now you got to be the man of the family, and he's 5. Like,
No.
what? I just want to play with
No.
Play-Doh.
No, you need to be the woman in life. You need to be the adult.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's messed up. But
It
you got to
is.
be an adult.
Yeah. And I would love to hear him, you know, just like how that literally spawns into what, like you said, maybe some things of like, oh, I got to be the protector. I got to be because it was instilled in you at a very young age.
There's no way
This
he
is what you
can
got to
be.
do.
He's a child.
Yeah, it was you ain't equipped with nothing.
No,
Mhm.
no way he can be.
These young dudes that feel
Yeah.
like that, you feel bad for them because it's like you have no idea.
No idea.
No idea. And then you're just fighting air because a lot of them are fighting something that's not tangible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're
No.
chasing ghosts.
Mhm.
It's like, nah. Don't.
No, that's unfair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very unfair.
Mhm.
They don't
Very
even know what they're fighting.
Yeah.
And that's I've experienced that with young men where you
Mhm.
like, why are you angry? Some of them don't. I don't even
They
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Just mad. And it's like, oh man, we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Then you tied into nowhere to talk, nobody to talk to, nobody who's talking to them, nobody's who's playing. Like, whoa, Lord. Like I told you, they got 100+ men in a room, and 70+% of them said they don't know their purpose in life. That is wild. Now, but then y'all mad at people who won't quote unquote submit. Submission is following someone's plan. You don't even know what you want to do with yourself. So what the am I following? What you mad about? Go figure yourself out.
Please.
But when I say that to guys, they be like, man, you just out here pandering. I ain't got to pander. I got a woman at home. I'm trying to tell y'all niggas what it is. Like you want a submissive woman. Okay. Let's talk about the word submissive.
You know,
Yes,
and-
let's talk about that. Well,
Yeah.
that's a whole different other
Yeah.
topic.
But
yeah.
it leads to a dark place. Like
and I don't, this is the thing that bothers me, especially when black men tell other black men, oh, you're pandering to black women. Why is that a thing? And why is it a bad thing?
well, there's two there. Well, see, pause. There are niggas that do that. And it's gross because most of the time it's somebody calling you out because that's not what you live once you cut that screen off. If you live that, you live that. There are
Right.
guys that are gentlemen, and you're not going to hear somebody say you're pandering. But it's the dudes who use it to try to get advantages with women sexually or manipulate.
Mhm.
Like, man, you're not that dude. When that camera cut off, you a totally different cat. And I promise you, most of the time, somebody who's calling a dude out like that is because he has seen something different.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I've done it. Because I've seen them. Like, nigga, shut up. As soon as this cuts off, you about to go call whoever's gonna let you in their bed tonight. Shut up. Because they be out there like that. So some of that is men calling other men to the carpet.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's all. You have to be secure in your manhood in order to have those type of conversations.
Yeah.
And be genuine, you know, on and off the camera.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And be proud of who and what you are.
Yeah. You gotta
what
walk
do.
it like you talk it.
Yeah.
Somebody's watching.
And be okay with that. You know, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, don't give a fuck.
Ha!
I think that's the
Taking care of you, take care of me and mine.
theme of tonight. And we're gonna go to bed on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Give a fuck.
And keep that energy throughout the rest of the week, y'all.
Yeah. And don't
Only so
plant,
many of them you can give away today.
Hello.
don't plant watermelons on June 20th.
Just saying.
And serve fried chicken.
I think that has been.
It's a food truck though.
But do you know how many food trucks there are in Raleigh? I'm not letting this go like I'm not letting them damn nuggets go. There are so
know.
many other
These
food
are
trucks.
apparently a traumatizing
Yes.
situation.
Because you got corn dogs, you got falafels, you have gyros, you have Korean like bowls, you have acai. You know, there's so many other things that you can choose, but you said fried chicken. That's what it'll do.
Maybe it's because I just want some fried chicken.
Perhaps that's something that you might need to look into.
Yeah, maybe it's because I want. Maybe let me go get some chicken, then think
Oh, no.
about it after I eat
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that shit's wrong. We ain't eating that shit.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's what you do.
We go get a 2-piece from
Or even
Bojangles.
burgers. Like we can do burgers. But no, fried chicken.
There's burgers at the food truck. There is burgers there, but there's going to be some chicken.
Okay. Woo. Okay.
Let me stop before I get in trouble.
Yes.
All right,
TDS
y'all.
Radio. We will see y'all tomorrow. We
Yes.
think it's okay.
Obi
We'll
will
see
be
y'all
here, and
tomorrow.
then hopefully Newbie will be here as well.
Who?
Newbie,
Who's newbie?
the new cousin.
Oh, the young girl.
Yeah,
Oh, the student. Okay,
Yeah,
got
mhm.
you.
Oh, how cute.
All right.
How cute.
How
And
adorable.
make sure y'all go to thehealingconsultant.com
Mhm.
and
Yes,
buy
yes.
something because there's something there
Yes.
for you. Is it lotion?
Support
Is it
a
salve?
black
Is
business.
it
Is the
gummies?
Gummies.
Is
Is
it
Candles.
the drops? Is it
Oil.
candle? Is it the tea?
Yeah.
There's something there
Oil.
for you.
There's something there for you.
Support a black business for Juneteenth. Can you do that? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you and good evening.
Bye.
Peace.